And it is sticking around for a little while, too. You're looking at our north side camera. You need your night vision goggles on to really be able to see. But we are glad you're up with us at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. This might be one of the cool spots of the day because it is so warm out there. You can kind of see, is that the strawberry moon
it is.
We're seeing there?
Looking west.
You know, I do listen to you from time to time. It is 6 o'clock. You will want to listen to her this week for sure because that heat is potent today.
Yeah, we have a couple alert days to talk about because the heat and the humidity combined, man, it's miserable out there.
Yeah, and you guys were mentioning how widespread this heat impacts people and how it is the #1 reason for fatalities when it comes to weather-related things. So if you think about these storms, I mean, they'll go through one area only impacting a small amount of people, but when the heat comes in, it's like a blanket. It encompasses everybody. So we are all under kind of the equal impacts because you have to have access to air conditioning. You have to have access to some high quality fluids and making sure you have the ability to take breaks if you work outside, or if you work in a place that's not very well ventilated. There's a lot of precautions that we have to take in order to stay safe simply because of the widespread impacts from this. And this was actually an upgrade coming in from the National Weather Service during the overnight hours as an extreme heat warning is now in effect. This was an upgrade overnight from the heat advisory because we are seeing some model data suggesting that we could see heat index values climbing as high as 110 across the state for today, tomorrow, and then again on Thursday. So this is a multi-day situation that will be ongoing through at least Thursday afternoon. Should start to see some breaks in this by the time we get into Friday. But we're just one of about 19 states being impacted by this over the next several days. So just an early heads up there. We'll take you live to the Carmel area where we are watching the moon. Eventually that will set 6:32. It is the full moon for the month of June as we wrap up the month of June today with these high temperatures. Right now we're at 76, about the coolest part of the day. Once the sun officially comes up, we'll start to see that upward trend of temperatures, upward trend of our heat index as well. That's likely going to peak between about 4 and 6 p.m. today, between 105 and 110 as we look ahead. Your feels like temperatures as we get to about 8 o'clock tonight, you'll notice those numbers dropping back down again. This could be a hot stretch though. We'll talk more about some relief from this high heat and humidity, some increasing rain chances as well as we head closer to the holiday weekend. Want to take you out to the traffic center now this morning as we've been monitoring the sky over on the western side of town. This is a look at I-70, this stretch of interstate here as you're approaching those airport ramps in between 465 and High School Road. Smooth sailing there for now as we've been watching the South Split as well. This construction zone, one of those busy trouble spots as we head into that peak morning rush hour. Outside right now, though, even in the construction zone, things are looking pretty good. Probably one of those lower impact kind of weeks simply because it is a holiday week. Perhaps not as many folks traveling for that normal morning commute. So things are looking good. And if you're headed out to the airport, no delays from the downtown area, northeast side, or the south side. Guys?
Lindsay, thank you. Really all week, that extreme heat is going to hit you when you step out the door.
And you will want to make sure that you are keeping yourself and checking on others when you're heading out this week. Anna Chalker is live this morning. You got some advice from doctors. What are they sharing with us, Anna? Good morning.
Well, ladies, they've got a lot in their book this morning. They are getting ready for this. And I'll tell you, the sun's starting to come up now, but the heat, it stayed the same. Our little thermometer this morning, it went a degree cooler than what we had at 5 o'clock this morning. But I feel no difference. It is sticky, it is hot, it is muggy. That's what you're gonna feel out here. And this is nothing we haven't experienced before. It's Indiana in June, you all know it. But that also includes those heat-related illnesses that those ER doctors are saying they're seeing more of this month already because of how hot it got earlier this month. You may remember just a couple of weeks ago. And most of the cases that they're seeing in their ER, those are those early heat exhaustion cases. Most of those symptoms people coming in with are dizziness, nausea, or even passing out. And at St. Vincent, there haven't been any cases of heat stroke yet, but doctors still want you to look out for those signs of overheating and confusion. And right now they say it is critical for you to keep an eye on yourself and those around you who could be the most vulnerable in this heat.
The vast majority of stuff we see is preventable, which is reassuring. If you find yourself showing some early signs of dizziness or nausea or getting lightheaded, take some time to get to some shaded area and cool off. And if you don't get better within a couple minutes or you develop any new or worsening symptoms such as chest pain or pass out, reasons to come to the ER.
And the big word of the day today is preventable. This doctor telling us all of these heat-related illnesses are preventable. And this is just some of the stuff that can help you prevent that. So for your sunburn, of course, you got your sunscreen, whatever kind you need, make sure you have it on all day. And if you've got in your bag some water, make sure you're opening it and drinking plenty of it. And on your body, you got to have the loose clothing. That's going to be important. I'll tell you, all of us at work today, definitely in some t-shirts, some tank tops, dresses, just trying to stay cool. Now, for in your house, when you're taking those breaks, because it's important to take them, you might just want a little bit of an extra fan. I know it's going to be a lot in your house, but you might have a little one you could probably stick into your bag that you can take out with you, especially if you're going to be hitting the pool today. That's going to be a big thing for so many families here. So coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about how that's going to be looking at the Indy parks as the pools are opening for the week and how they're preparing for extra people, maybe earlier in the day than later before it gets really, really hot this afternoon.
Probably going to be packed a lot earlier, Anna. Thank you. We'll check in with you soon.
They will be busy, and that's why the city says those cooling centers and public areas are open if you are trying to escape the heat. That includes Indy Park's family centers and branches of the Indianapolis Public Library. If you're looking for a place to go, they are open during regular business hours, and we have that full list of locations and hours on our website.
This is important too. AES Indiana is suspending any disconnections for non-payment because it is so hot right now. So this is in effect for yesterday and now today. A post on social media says that they are monitoring the conditions all week, and they'll likely change that for us as the week goes on.
Coming up on 6:06 now, police say they are seeing encouraging signs from Indianapolis teen curfew efforts. Only 5 teens were taken to the Connection Center over the weekend.
So according to IMPD, that is the fewest since the center first opened last year. Marina Silva has been keeping up with the city's teen curfew strategy. What is the overall goal here and how's it going? Good morning.
Well, good morning. The goal of the approach has always been keep kids safe here in the city following last year's deadly 4th of July weekend. Now, they told us that this shows that less and less teenagers are violating the teen curfew rules. Now, instead of taking curfew violators to juvenile detention, officers bring them to the Connection Center at an undisclosed location. Police say the goal is intervention, not to punish. Now, while at the center, the staff contact parents and then give resources to families while trying to address why the teens were out in the first place.
I think it gives us an opportunity to get in front of parents and have more of these direct conversations. The purpose behind the Connection Center is simple. It's accountability paired with opportunity.
Well, IMPD says they're seeing more and more parents respond, which in turn leads to less teenagers violating the curfew. Now, we'll see after this holiday weekend what happens if that trend continues to decrease, but it will be open this weekend.
Yeah, such an important reminder ahead of such a busy weekend, too. A lot of people out and about, so we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you.
Well, court documents this morning are revealing some new details in the case of a Marion man charged with child sex crimes. Jacob Deck is facing 13 charges. Police say they found child sex abuse material on his phone. And this isn't the first time he is facing charges like this. He was convicted of possession of child pornography in 2024. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says that he failed to register as a sex offender after that conviction. He's being held on $50,000 cash bond.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is sending a cease and desist letter to the Maryville Town Council. This is in Northwest Indiana. The warning says actions to block ICE from creating new detention space violate state laws. It accuses Maryville leaders of discouraging property owners from making deals with ICE. He's calling on the city now to issue a public statement saying it will not retaliate against property owners engaging in transactions with ICE. Rokita says the city has until July 15th to cooperate or face legal action.
Well, green spaces in Indianapolis offer a great space for everyone to get outside. Might be a little hotter this week, though.
A little warm for sure. And some people say ensuring safety at those places isn't always a walk in the park. That was the main topic at last night's Northwest Community Resource District Council meeting. Specifically, the meeting focused on Riverside and Northwest Way parks. One worry right now is access to guns in a place where kids are supposed to be playing.
We do not have gun licensing for our city. It is not a wise idea to go to the park with your guns out, flashing your guns, because it's only asking for counterproductive activity to take place, and that's not what we want.
So leaders say they have made some progress in reducing crime and improving experiences at the park, but they still acknowledge there is a lot of work that needs to be done. It's 6:09. Lindsay, good morning.
Well, again, right to you. Of course, heat is going to be the main weather story today, tomorrow, and then into Thursday. However, we are looking at a breakdown in this pattern by Friday into your holiday weekend. That is as the heat index is expected to drop and that rain chance expected to go up. We'll talk about the latest rain timeline for your 4th of July holiday.
Thank you, Lindsay. We've got rain, heat, and humidity, but there are dangerous hot and dry conditions hitting about half of the country. We'll tell you how it's impacting communities out west.
And keeping kids safe, how a bill passed by Congress last night gives parents more control over kids' online activities.
An upgrade to an extreme heat warning today is your heat index. Later this afternoon, between about 4 and 6 p.m., approaches 105 to 110 across parts of this central Indiana. Another day where we have heat index values climbing into the triple digits in air temperatures today, expected to be back in the mid 90s. We're headed to 94 in Indy, 92 in Shelbyville. No major changes in our pattern here between now and about Thursday, but Friday we'll start to see that break down a bit. That's also going to be as we increase that rain chance, some scattered storms Friday into the holiday weekend. We're looking at a weather impact alert day through Thursday because of that extreme heat warning that will also be in effect during those peak heating hours, noon to 8 p.m. Rain chances return Friday into the weekend.